The $1.500 backyard investment that pays you every single year. 1. The hidden $1 million fish. What if your pond could earn more than your paycheck? It sounds crazy, right? Most people see a pond as just a quiet stretch of water, a place for reflection. Maybe a few ducks, or the occasional splash of a wild fish. But what if I told you that beneath that calm surface lies one of the most overlooked income opportunities in modern aquaculture? One that's been quietly making rural families across Asia rich for generations? Meet the grass carp, Ctenopharyngodon idella, a peaceful, plant-eating fish that has become the engine of Asia's freshwater economy. While others chase exotic shrimp, high-maintenance catfish, or costly tilapia, the grass carp keeps things beautifully simple. It eats grass, grows fast, and turns small ponds into big profits. Farmers call it the cow of the water world. Why? Because just like cattle, it converts cheap, abundant vegetation into valuable protein, efficiently, naturally, and sustainably. This fish doesn't need high-tech feed or expensive aerators. It doesn't devour your budget. It thrives on what most people consider waste: pond weeds, rice stalks, and simple greens. That means lower costs, fewer risks, and higher margins. And here's the kicker: the return on investment is jaw-dropping. In some regions, farmers are reporting 200 to 300% ROI per season, with almost no complex infrastructure. Imagine earning a full-time income from something as simple as harvesting pond grass. Now imagine scaling that up: small village farms producing tons of clean, organic fish for booming export markets in China, Vietnam, and beyond. The grass carp industry has already surpassed millions of tons in production annually. Yet the demand still outpaces supply. That gap, right there, is your gold mine. In this video, we'll reveal the complete blueprint, from designing the perfect pond ecosystem to selecting fingerlings, managing feed and water quality, and connecting directly to the best markets. Whether you own a small backyard pond or dream of launching a large-scale fish farm, this could be your ticket to a life of independence and prosperity. Because sometimes, the smartest investment doesn't roar, jump, or sting, it just quietly swims. 2. Meet the star, the grass carp. Let's meet the unsung hero of freshwater farming, the grass carp, Ctenopharyngodon idella. A species that has quietly shaped the food systems of Asia for centuries and is now gaining attention worldwide as one of the most profitable, sustainable, and low-maintenance fish ever cultivated. Scientifically, the grass carp traces its roots to the broad, fertile river systems of China, particularly the Yangtze River Basin. For thousands of years, Chinese farmers have raised it alongside rice and other crops, creating an ingenious form of integrated aquaculture that fed entire villages while preserving the environment. Over time, this humble herbivore spread beyond China's borders, to Vietnam, Thailand, India, Eastern Europe, and even the United States, where it now ranks among the top 5 most farmed freshwater fish globally. Its global success isn't luck, it's evolution meeting opportunity. Physically, the grass carp is built like a torpedo, sleek, muscular, and efficient. Its shimmering silver scales catch the sunlight like ripples on a calm river. Every aspect of its design speaks of purpose: a long, streamlined body for fast swimming, powerful jaws for grinding aquatic vegetation, and lean flesh with just the right balance of texture and flavor. Unlike fatty or oily fish, grass carp meat is clean, mild, and low in cholesterol, making it perfect for health-conscious consumers who crave a light, nutritious protein. From a production standpoint, it's a marvel of biological efficiency. A small 25-gram fingerling, about the size of your thumb, can grow into a 3 to 5 kilogram adult within just 18 to 24 months under proper care. That's like turning a handful of tiny seedlings into a harvest worth hundreds of dollars in less than 2 years. This growth speed, combined with its minimal feed cost, makes grass carp an unbeatable choice for farmers seeking high yields with low investment. But it's not just a fast grower, it's also a premium product. In local Asian markets, High-quality grass carp sells for $1.80 to $3 per pound. Depending on size and freshness. Restaurants prize it for its firm yet tender meat. Ideal for grilling, steaming, or hot pot dishes. And with rising demand in Korea, China, and the international Asian diaspora, the export potential is huge. It's no longer just a staple, it's becoming a culinary ambassador. Bridging rural ponds and global dining tables. What truly sets the grass carp apart, however, isn't just its profit margin, it's its ecological role. This fish is nature's own aquatic lawnmower. It feeds voraciously on pond weeds, algae, and unwanted vegetation that would otherwise choke water systems and reduce oxygen levels. By keeping ponds clean naturally, it eliminates the need for chemical herbicides or expensive water treatments. In mixed aquaculture systems, grass carp act as living filters, improving water circulation and helping other species, like catfish or tilapia, thrive alongside them. That's why agricultural scientists often describe it as a dual-purpose species, profitable for farmers and restorative for ecosystems. In an era when sustainability isn't just a buzzword but a global necessity, the grass carp stands as a model of balance. It proves that you don't have to choose between making money and protecting nature, you can do both. Farmers who raise grass carp are essentially running eco-businesses. Their ponds become self-sustaining systems where fish recycle nutrients, plants grow cleaner, and water remains clear. That not only reduces operating costs but also attracts new buyers who prioritize environmentally friendly food sources. Imagine branding your product not just as fresh fish, but as eco-clean, naturally raised fish from sustainable ponds. That's a marketing edge few competitors can claim. And perhaps the most inspiring part? You don't need massive resources to get started. Unlike high-tech aquaculture requiring constant monitoring and feed formulations, the grass carp thrives in simplicity. As long as it has vegetation, space, and proper water flow, it will reward you with steady growth and consistent returns. From ancient Chinese rivers to modern backyard ponds, the grass carp's journey is one of quiet revolution. It's the story of how one species transformed from a farmer's side project into a global aquaculture powerhouse, feeding millions and building livelihoods across continents. So next time you see a patch of green water covered in weeds, don't see a problem, see opportunity. Because beneath those floating leaves might swim the future of sustainable farming. Ready to turn your pond into a living, breathing source of wealth. 3. Designing the perfect pond system. If you want your grass carp venture to succeed, it all starts with the pond, the living factory where biology, chemistry, and design work together to turn sunlight, water, and vegetation into profit. Whether you're managing a small backyard system in the US or a traditional family pond in rural Asia, building it right from the start makes the difference between average yields and an abundant, low-maintenance aquatic goldmine. Let's break down exactly how to design a pond that keeps your grass carp healthy, growing fast, and earning steady income season after season. Location and layout. Where profits begin. The best pond starts with the right location. Choose a flat or gently sloped area that's close to a clean, natural water source, a canal, stream, or well. Avoid spots near industrial zones or where runoff might carry chemical residues, pesticides, or acidic waste. These contaminants can devastate water quality and wipe out an entire season's work in days. For small to medium-sized operations, the sweet spot is 500 to 2.000 square meters, about 1/8 to half an acre. This size is perfect for homesteads or small farms, large enough to sustain a few thousand fish, yet small enough for 1 or 2 people to manage easily. Design the pond in a rectangular or oval shape to simplify water flow and harvesting. Long, narrow ponds are often better for managing oxygen levels and maintaining even feeding zones. Make sure to include a levee or earthen embankment around the pond, compacted tightly to prevent leaks, with gentle slopes that make walking, feeding, and netting safe and efficient. If possible, plant grasses or bamboo along the banks to stabilize the soil and prevent erosion. These plants not only strengthen the pond edges but also act as natural filters for rainwater runoff, reducing turbidity and protecting water quality. Pond structure, depth, drainage, and durability. A perfectly designed grass carp pond doesn't need to be deep, but it must be stable. The optimal depth is 4.5 to 6.5 feet, 1.5 to 2 meters. Shallow ponds warm up faster and allow better oxygen circulation, while still maintaining enough water volume to buffer against sudden temperature changes. Make sure the pond bottom is slightly sloped toward the drainage outlet, around 3 to 5 degrees. This small incline ensures that when you need to drain the pond for cleaning or harvesting, every drop flows smoothly toward the exit point. A pond that holds stagnant water or accumulates sludge in corners will quickly become a breeding ground for disease and parasites. For beginners, backyard farmers, or anyone in urban or suburban settings, consider installing an HDPE liner. This durable plastic sheet prevents seepage, stabilizes water levels, and simplifies cleaning. It's a great investment for smaller systems where soil conditions are unpredictable or where you want a clean, controlled environment for faster growth. In earthen ponds, the soil should be clay-rich and firm, capable of holding water without excessive seepage. Avoid sandy or highly acidic soil. If you're unsure, mix bentonite clay or compact the base layer to improve water retention. Water system. Keep it flowing. Keep it fresh. Your pond's water circulation system is its lifeblood. Good water flow prevents stagnation, distributes oxygen evenly, and keeps the fish active and healthy. A well-designed pond always includes both an inlet and an outlet, each equipped with fine mesh screens to block unwanted intruders, such as wild fish, frogs, and debris, from entering or escaping. The inlet should be positioned slightly higher than the pond's surface level to allow gravity-fed flow when filling. The outlet, ideally placed at the lowest point of the pond bottom, ensures full drainage during harvest or maintenance. For aeration, the rule of thumb is 1 pump per 500 square meters, about 5.400 square feet. Simple paddle wheel or diffuser-style aerators can dramatically improve oxygen levels, particularly in warm climates where grass carp metabolism and oxygen demand rises sharply. For small homesteads, even a solar-powered air pump can make a huge difference in fish growth and survival. Clean, moving water is the secret to both productivity and peace of mind. If your pond is connected to a stream or canal, ensure you can control the inflow rate to maintain stable water levels. Sudden floods or heavy inflow can stress your fish, disturb sediments, and introduce harmful microorganisms. Pre-release preparation. Setting the stage for success. Before you release your fingerlings, your pond needs a complete reset, a clean, fertile foundation that mimics a natural ecosystem without the pathogens. 1. Drain and disinfect. Start by draining all existing water and removing any sludge or organic waste from the bottom. Once drained, spread agricultural lime, calcium oxide, at a rate of 7 to 10 kilograms per 100 square meters. Lime neutralizes acidity, kills parasites, and stabilizes the pond's pH. 2. Sun dry. Let the pond bottom sun dry for 5 to 7 days. This process destroys harmful bacteria, promotes the breakdown of organic matter, and hardens the soil, making it less prone to seepage. 3. Fertilize naturally. After drying, apply a layer of organic compost, rice bran, or well-decomposed manure. These materials act as natural fertilizers, promoting the growth of plankton, the microscopic plants and animals that serve as an essential food source for young fish. A healthy plankton bloom turns the water light green, signaling a balanced, nutrient-rich pond ecosystem. 4. Fill and stabilize. Slowly refill the pond with clean water through a screened inlet, allowing the natural microorganisms to thrive before introducing fish. Avoid rapid filling or water directly from unknown sources, which may carry pathogens or pollutants. 5. Monitor key parameters. Check that the pH stays between 6.5 and 7.5, slightly neutral to mildly alkaline, and that the temperature remains in the 72 to 82 degrees Fahrenheit, 22 to 28 degrees Celsius range. These conditions are ideal for grass carp, ensuring strong appetite, rapid growth, and natural disease resistance. You'll know your pond is ready when the water develops a light green tint. Oxygen levels remain stable, and small aquatic organisms begin to appear. This living foundation is what separates an amateur setup from a thriving, self-sustaining ecosystem. The pond is a profit machine. When built and maintained correctly, your pond becomes far more than just a fish tank. It becomes an eco-engineered production system. Every part serves a purpose: the slope for cleaning, the aerators for oxygen, the vegetation for feed, and the sunlight for biological activity. Think of it as a miniature factory powered by nature, one that runs silently, efficiently, and sustainably. It doesn't demand your constant supervision, it rewards your consistency. Once established, it can operate for years with minimal reconstruction, giving you season after season of stable returns. And the best part? You're not just building a pond, you're building a legacy of abundance. Every drop of clean water, every blade of grass, and every fish swimming inside represents a future of self-sufficiency and financial freedom. In the next section, we'll dive into how to stock your pond strategically, from selecting the right fingerlings to managing densities and feed, so every gallon of water becomes a source of growth and profit. 4. Selecting and releasing fingerlings. Once your pond is ready, clean, balanced, and full of life, it's time to introduce the stars of your operation, the fingerlings. This step determines everything that follows. Healthy, well-selected fingerlings mean strong growth, high survival rates, and steady profits. Poor quality stock, on the other hand, can ruin an entire season, no matter how perfect your setup is. So, let's go step by step to make sure your pond gets the best possible start. Choosing healthy stock. Quality over quantity. The first rule of successful aquaculture is simple: never cut corners on your fingerlings. Always buy from trusted hatcheries or certified local breeders with a proven reputation for disease-free stock. Ask for documentation if possible, or visit the hatchery in person. Watch how they maintain their tanks, how the fish behave, and whether the water looks clean and well aerated. A healthy grass carp fingerling should have a uniform silver sheen, a torpedo-shaped body, and no visible deformities or wounds. Avoid any that show red patches, scale loss, or sluggish movement. These are signs of bacterial or parasitic infection. When selecting, aim for uniform size to avoid aggression or cannibalism. The ideal starter size is 3 to 6 inches, 8 to 15 centimeters, or around 20 to 50 grams in weight. At this stage, the fish are hardy enough to adapt to new environments but still young enough to grow rapidly once released. Remember, your fingerlings are not just baby fish, they are living investments. Think of each one as a potential $10 or $15 note swimming in your pond, multiplying quietly over time. Stocking density. How many is too many? Stocking density, the number of fish per square meter, plays a critical role in balancing growth rate, water quality, and overall yield. Go too dense, and you'll stress the fish, reduce oxygen, and invite disease. Too sparse, and you'll waste valuable pond space. If you plan to raise only grass carp, go for a monoculture system with 2 to 3 fish per square meter. This setup allows plenty of room for the fish to graze, move, and grow to their full potential. However, many farmers prefer polyculture, combining grass carp with other species such as tilapia, catla, or silver carp. These fish occupy different ecological niches within the pond, reducing waste and maximizing productivity. In a balanced polyculture system, grass carp should make up about 50 to 60% of the total fish population, with the rest divided among species that eat plankton or smaller organisms. For example, in a 1.000 square meter pond, you might stock 1.200 grass carp, 500 tilapia, and 300 silver carp. This combination creates a self-regulating food chain. Tilapia control algae, silver carp consume plankton, and grass carp manage vegetation, all while maintaining water clarity and ecosystem stability. The acclimation process, a gentle introduction. Fish are sensitive creatures. A sudden change in temperature, pH, or salinity can shock their systems, leading to high mortality rates. That's why acclimation, or helping the fish adjust gradually to their new home, is essential. Start by floating the transport bags or tanks containing your fingerlings on the pond surface for 15 to 20 minutes. This equalizes the temperature between the transport water and pond water. Next, open the bags slightly and gradually mix small amounts of pond water into them every few minutes. This helps the fish adapt to the pond's specific pH, mineral content, and microbial community. Before release, give your fingerlings a salt bath, a tried and true farmer's trick to reduce stress and eliminate parasites. Prepare a 2 to 3% salt solution, 20 to 30 grams of non-iodized salt per liter of water, and immerse the fish for 5 to 10 minutes. Watch carefully. If they start losing balance, transfer them to fresh water immediately. This simple step can prevent fungal and bacterial infections, ensuring a clean start. Once acclimated, gently release the fingerlings into the pond near the edges or shaded areas, preferably during early morning or late afternoon when the temperature is mild. Avoid introducing fish at noon or during intense sunlight, as this can cause oxygen stress and surface overheating. Ideal timing. Nature's perfect window. Timing is everything in aquaculture. The best periods to stock grass carp are early spring, March to April, or late summer, August-September, depending on your local climate. In early spring, temperatures begin to rise, and natural plankton and aquatic vegetation start to bloom, providing abundant natural food for your young fish. In late summer, water conditions stabilize after the rainy season, minimizing sudden pH swings and temperature fluctuations. If you're in a cooler region, avoid stocking during winter when water temperatures drop below 68 degrees Fahrenheit, 20 degrees Celsius. Cold stress can weaken immunity and slow growth dramatically. Boosting survival. Secrets from successful farmers. Even experienced fish farmers will tell you, stocking day is the most critical day of the entire cycle. But with a few extra precautions, you can achieve 80 to 90% survival rates or higher. 1. Feed lightly on day 1. Don't feed the fish immediately after release. Let them explore and adapt first. Start feeding small amounts after 24 hours with soft, natural food like boiled vegetables, duckweed, or finely chopped grass. 2. Minimize disturbance. Avoid loud noises, splashing, or frequent pond visits during the first few days. Stress is silent but deadly for newly introduced fish. 3. Shade and shelter. Floating water hyacinth or partial shade nets help regulate sunlight and temperature, keeping your fish calm and reducing evaporation. 4. Monitor behavior. Healthy fingerlings swim actively near the surface or mid-water, not gasping for air or hiding constantly. Any abnormal behavior, lethargy, erratic movement, or surface clustering, signals a water quality issue that needs attention. 5. Gradual feeding increase. After the first week, gradually increase feeding volume as the fish settle in and begin growing. Monitor appetite closely. Uneaten feed indicates overfeeding or low oxygen. 6. Emergency oxygen backup. Keep an aerator or air stone on standby, especially at night when oxygen levels drop naturally. A few minutes of extra oxygen can save hundreds of fish. From fingerlings to fortune. By the time your grass carp fingerlings are released, you've done more than just stock a pond. You've planted the seeds of a sustainable, income-generating ecosystem. Every careful choice, from healthy stock selection to proper acclimation, compounds over time, leading to healthier fish, faster growth, and higher profits. Treat those first few days like the foundation of a house. Build them strong, and the rest of your aquaculture journey will stand tall for years. In the next section, we'll explore feeding strategies and nutrition management, revealing how to turn common weeds, grass, and byproducts into powerful, low-cost growth fuel for your fish. 5. Smart feeding strategy. If your pond is the heart of your operation, feeding is the blood that keeps it alive. Feeding isn't just about keeping your fish full, it's the single biggest factor that determines growth speed, survival rates, and ultimately, your profit margin. For grass carp, feeding smartly means blending natural, low-cost vegetation with efficient management practices that mimic nature's rhythm. Done right, your pond becomes a self-sustaining ecosystem that produces both food and income year-round. Let's break down the step-by-step feeding strategy, from tiny fry to market-ready giants, and how to create a system that's both economical and incredibly productive. Feeding by growth stage, matching diet to development. Just like people, fish have changing nutritional needs as they grow. The grass carp is a herbivorous species, but during its early life stages, it still requires fine, energy-rich feeds to build muscle and strengthen its immune system. Here's how to feed smartly through every phase. 1. Fry stage, 0 to 30 days. At this delicate stage, your grass carp fry are tiny and fragile, barely the size of a paperclip. Their digestive systems are still developing, so the feed must be soft, small, and packed with nutrients. The perfect starter feed is a mix of powdered rice bran and soybean meal, finely ground and spread evenly over the water surface. Use a sieve or sprinkle by hand 2 to 3 times daily, ensuring even distribution. This mixture is rich in proteins, vitamins, and natural oils that boost energy and accelerate early growth. Feed lightly but frequently, enough for them to finish within 15 minutes. Overfeeding at this stage can pollute the water and cause fungal growth, so observe closely. The goal here isn't rapid growth but strong survival and healthy digestive development. 2. Juvenile stage, 1 to 3 months. Once the fry reach about 2 to 3 inches, 5 to 8 centimeters, they enter the juvenile phase, stronger, hungrier, and ready to start their natural herbivorous diet. This is when you gradually introduce aquatic vegetation such as duckweed, banana leaves, or Napier grass, also known as elephant grass. Duckweed is a superstar feed. It floats, grows fast, and contains up to 35 to 40% protein, which makes it one of the best natural feeds for young grass carp. You can cultivate it easily in small side ponds or barrels using animal manure or organic compost as fertilizer. Banana and Napier grass should be chopped into small 2 to 3 inch pieces for easy consumption. Feed twice a day, morning and late afternoon, when oxygen levels are higher and fish are more active. At this stage, you can also begin mixing small quantities of commercial pellets, if available, to encourage faster weight gain and ensure balanced nutrition. 3. Adult stage, 4 months and beyond. Once your grass carp reach 1 kilogram or more, they become full-fledged grazers. Their diet can now consist almost entirely of fresh grasses and aquatic plants. Feed daily at a rate of 22 to 27% of their body weight, depending on temperature and activity levels. Yes, it sounds like a lot, but remember, grass carp are voracious eaters. In fact, they can consume up to 3 times their body weight in vegetation every day in ideal conditions. Their constant feeding keeps ponds clean and oxygen-rich, creating a self-regulating ecosystem. The best feeds at this stage include Napier grass, high yield, high protein, easy to grow around ponds. Sudan grass or mulatto grass, excellent fiber content and regrowth capacity. Water spinach and duckweed, great supplements for variety and minerals. Alternate feed types to prevent boredom and encourage steady intake. Chop grass finely for easy digestion, especially for smaller adults. Growing your own feed, turning land into a green buffet. Here's where smart farmers outsmart expensive ones. Instead of buying feed, they grow it around the edges of your pond. Reserve a 1 to 2 meter strip of land to cultivate Napier, Sudan, or mulatto grass. These species grow rapidly, regenerate after cutting, and can yield up to 150 to 200 tons of fresh biomass per hectare per year. Plant once, and you'll have an endless supply of feed that costs next to nothing. You can even rotate harvesting sections every 15 to 20 days, ensuring a continuous source of young, Tender grass that your fish love. Napier and Sudan grass also stabilize the pond banks, prevent erosion, and absorb excess nutrients from water runoff, creating a natural biofilter system that keeps your pond cleaner. If you have extra land, use it to grow duckweed ponds. These small, shallow basins act like live feed factories, reproducing rapidly under sunlight. Harvest duckweed daily using a fine net. Rinse lightly, and feed immediately. Mixing natural feed with commercial pellets, the growth accelerator. While grass carp thrive on natural feeds, supplementing with commercial floating pellets can dramatically speed up growth, especially in cooler months when plant metabolism slows. The trick is balance. A good ratio is 80% natural feed plus 20% pellets. The pellets provide protein, fat, and essential minerals that natural vegetation may lack, while the grass maintains digestive health and low production costs. During the first 3 to 4 months, when growth is most rapid, feed pellets once daily in the afternoon when digestion is strongest. Switch to a purely plant-based diet as the fish mature and water temperature stabilizes. For farmers with access to agricultural byproducts, you can also create your own low-cost mix. 50% chopped grass or leaves, 25% rice bran, 15% soybean meal, 10% cornmeal or cassava flour. Mix with a little water, form into soft balls, and broadcast gently. It's nutritious, eco-friendly, and keeps costs down to a fraction of commercial feed prices. Feeding schedule, rhythm and routine. Grass carp thrive on consistency. Feed them 2 to 3 times per day, early morning, 7 to 8 a.m. Afternoon, 2 to 3 p.m., and optionally at dusk, 5 to 6 p.m., in warm seasons. Regular timing trains the fish to gather in feeding zones, making observation easier and improving efficiency. Avoid feeding during heavy rain or when dissolved oxygen drops, usually late at night or early dawn. Low oxygen slows digestion and wastes feed. A steady rhythm builds predictable growth curves and keeps your fish active and healthy. Floating feeding platforms, the secret weapon. Here's a simple but powerful tool that separates professional farmers from beginners: the floating feeding platform. It's nothing fancy, just a square bamboo frame with a fine mesh or plastic netting base that floats on the water surface. Place your feed, grass or pellets, on these platforms at fixed locations in your pond. Why? Because it allows you to monitor consumption. You'll instantly know if the fish are eating well or losing appetite, a key sign of stress or poor water quality. Prevent waste. Uneaten feed stays contained, preventing decomposition and ammonia buildup. Train your fish. Over time, the carp will associate the platform with feeding time, gathering automatically when they hear your footsteps, making management easier and more interactive. You can build one platform per 500 square meters of pond area and rotate their positions occasionally to distribute feeding evenly. Turning feed into fortune. A good feeding strategy is more than just putting food in the water. It's a system of precision, timing, and observation. Every handful of grass, every pinch of bran, every scoop of pellets translates directly into growth, profit, and sustainability. When you grow your own feed, manage schedules smartly, and minimize waste, you unlock the real secret of aquaculture success: high returns with low cost. In the next section, we'll explore how to maintain water quality and prevent diseases, so your fish stay healthy, your pond stays clean, and your profits keep flowing. 6. Modern pond management and technology. In the past, fish farming was viewed as a simple, low-tech livelihood, just a pond, some feed, and time. But today, the world of aquaculture has changed. Technology has quietly entered the water, turning traditional ponds into smart, data-driven ecosystems where every reading, every pump, and every feeding cycle can be monitored and optimized. For modern farmers raising grass carp, this fusion of nature and innovation means one thing: more fish, higher profits, and cleaner operations. Let's dive into how you can bring technology and modern management practices into your pond, whether you're running a rural farm or a small urban aquaculture setup right in your backyard. Tech tools for smarter pond management. Success in modern aquaculture depends on information, knowing what's happening in your pond at all times. The good news? Affordable tools now make that possible for anyone. 1. Water quality sensors. Healthy grass carp depend on stable water conditions. Even a small dip in oxygen or spike in ammonia can cause stress, disease, and mass losses. To prevent this, install digital water quality sensors that continuously measure pH levels, ideal 6.5 to 7.5. Dissolved oxygen, above 5 mg per liter. Ammonia levels, below 0.05 mg per liter. Portable devices like TDS meters, pH pens, or even multi-parameter digital probes can sync with your smartphone, sending instant alerts when water quality drifts outside safe limits. Some farmers go one step further, connecting sensors to aerator controllers or smart pumps, which automatically activate when oxygen drops, saving fish and electricity. 2. Aquaculture management apps. Gone are the days of scribbled notebooks and guesswork. Apps such as Agri.vn, Aqua Farm Tracker, or FarmCloud allow you to log daily feeding, track growth rates, monitor water quality, and even calculate profits in real time. Each fish pond becomes a data profile, showing trends like feed conversion ratio, FCR, mortality, and yield projections. Over time, this data helps fine-tune your management, feeding less when temperatures drop, scheduling water changes before pH drifts, and predicting harvest weight weeks in advance. Technology doesn't replace your instincts, it sharpens them. Biosecurity and pond hygiene, the invisible shield. A clean pond isn't just beautiful, it's profitable. Poor biosecurity leads to disease outbreaks that can destroy months of hard work. Fortunately, a few simple habits can make all the difference. 1. Weekly lime application. Every week, sprinkle 3 kilograms of agricultural lime per 100 square meters of pond surface. Lime acts as a natural sanitizer and buffer, it stabilizes pH, kills harmful bacteria, and improves water clarity. It's cheap, natural, and incredibly effective. To apply it correctly, dissolve lime in a bucket of pond water first. Then distribute it evenly across the surface early in the morning. Avoid direct contact with fish or concentrated piles of powder. 2. Probiotics for water health. Instead of relying on harsh chemicals, smart farmers now use biological solutions. Products based on effective microorganisms, or yucca extracts are perfect examples. Probiotics introduce beneficial bacteria that break down organic waste, preventing ammonia buildup. Yucca-based solutions bind harmful gases like hydrogen sulfide and keep your pond water fresh. Apply these every 2 weeks to maintain balance. The result? Clearer water, healthier fish, and faster growth, all while protecting the environment. Water change routine. Keep it fresh. Keep it flowing. Even the best managed ponds accumulate waste and uneaten feed over time. That's why regular partial water changes are essential. Replace 20 to 30% of your pond water weekly, using clean, filtered water from a reliable source. This simple practice dilutes ammonia and nitrates, refreshes oxygen levels, and supports beneficial microbes. Always drain from the bottom, where waste settles, and refill slowly from the top or side to avoid shocking the fish. If you're using HDPE-lined or smaller ponds, you can integrate a simple overflow outlet system that automatically removes old water when you add new water, effortless and efficient. HDPE liners and biofloc systems, the future for urban farmers. For farmers in limited spaces, backyards, rooftops, or peri-urban areas, traditional earthen ponds aren't always an option. Enter HDPE-lined ponds and biofloc systems, the future of small-space aquaculture. HDPE-lined ponds. These are durable, leak-proof ponds made from high-density polyethylene sheets. They're easy to install, last for years, and allow total control over water conditions. Because there's no soil contact. You avoid parasites, seepage, and contamination. HDPE ponds are perfect for small commercial operations or experimental setups, where every gallon of water counts. They also allow year-round production and easy cleaning after each harvest. Biofloc systems. The biofloc method takes pond technology to another level. It's based on the principle of recycling fish waste into protein-rich flocks, tiny microbial clusters that fish can eat. By constantly aerating the water and maintaining a balanced carbon-nitrogen ratio, farmers can achieve high-density production without frequent water changes. It's eco-friendly, saves feed, and works wonders for grass carp when combined with natural vegetation or supplemental feed. For those living in cities or with limited space, biofloc systems in tanks or lined basins are a game-changer, transforming even a backyard into a miniature aquaculture factory. Automation and innovation. Let the machines work for you. Modern aquaculture isn't about working harder, it's about working smarter. Automation now allows farmers to manage ponds remotely, reduce labor, and improve consistency. Solar aerators. Instead of relying on grid electricity, solar-powered aerators are revolutionizing off-grid fish farming. They operate quietly, reduce costs, and ensure constant oxygen levels even during power outages. Install one solar aerator per 500 to 700 square meters of pond area, and your fish will never suffer oxygen stress again. Automatic feeders and timers. Overfeeding is one of the biggest sources of waste and poor water quality. Automatic feeders, set on timers, release small amounts of feed throughout the day, matching the fish's natural feeding rhythm and maximizing digestion efficiency. You can set feeding intervals through apps or control panels, fine-tuning based on growth stage and water temperature. Remote monitoring systems. Some farmers now use IoT, Internet of Things, technology, sensors and cameras linked to mobile dashboards. You can monitor pH, oxygen, and feeding behavior from your phone, even if you're miles away. This system turns your pond into a smart aquarium, one that never sleeps, never forgets, and always keeps you informed. Clean farming equals higher survival plus global standards. Beyond the technology and tools, modern pond management is about ethics and sustainability. Consumers today, especially in export markets like Korea, Japan, and the US, demand fish raised under clean, traceable, and eco-friendly conditions. When you adopt these modern techniques, biosecurity, probiotics, automation, and record tracking, you're not just improving yields, you're aligning your farm with international standards. Clean farming ensures higher survival rates, 90% plus, better taste and texture, longer shelf life, access to premium export markets. Your pond becomes more than just a business, it becomes a symbol of innovation and integrity. Technology doesn't erase tradition, it enhances it. The same simple pond that fed families centuries ago can now power global trade. If managed with intelligence and care, every sensor, every solar panel, every clean drop of water brings you one step closer to a new era of aquaculture, sustainable, profitable, and proudly modern. 7. Disease prevention and treatment. No matter how perfect your pond looks, disease is the invisible enemy that every fish farmer must learn to manage. One outbreak can wipe out months of effort, thousands of fish, and your profits in a matter of days. But the good news is, most fish diseases are preventable with smart management, clean water, and early action. In this section, we'll walk you through the common threats grass carp farmers face, and how to protect your pond like a pro. Common threats. Know the enemy before it strikes. Even in clean, well-managed ponds, pathogens can find their way in through new stock, wild birds, or contaminated water. Grass carp are hardy fish, but they're not invincible. The most frequent threats include 1. Hemorrhagic disease. Also called grass carp hemorrhagic septicemia. This viral infection is the most serious. It usually appears during warm months when water temperatures rise above 77 degrees Fahrenheit, 25 degrees Celsius. Symptoms: red patches on the belly and gills, bleeding at fin bases, sluggish swimming, and fish floating near the surface. Cause: poor water quality, overcrowding, or introducing infected fingerlings. 2. Anchorworms, Lernaea spp. These tiny, thread-like crustaceans attach themselves to the fish's skin, sucking blood and leaving wounds open to bacterial infection. Symptoms: visible thin worms hanging from the body or fins, scratching behavior, reduced feeding, and inflammation at the attachment sites. Cause: poor hygiene, wild water sources, or infested fry. 3. Red spot disease, bacterial infection. This bacterial condition often follows physical stress, low oxygen, or unbalanced feeding. Symptoms: round red sores on the body, ulcers near the tail or gills, cloudy eyes, and erratic swimming. Cause: high organic waste, fluctuating temperatures, and weakened immunity. These diseases can devastate ponds if ignored, but most can be avoided with early detection, preventive care, and clean management. Prevention is always better than cure. Healthy fish start with a healthy environment. Most diseases emerge not from external threats, but from internal weakness, stress, poor diet, or dirty water. Follow these core preventive measures to keep your grass carp strong. 1. Feed for immunity. A balanced diet rich in vitamins C and E is your first line of defense. Vitamin C boosts immunity, strengthens cell walls, and speeds up wound healing. Vitamin E acts as an antioxidant, protecting tissues from stress and toxins. Mix these vitamins into feed weekly or use commercially fortified pellets. For natural sources, supplement with chopped greens like water spinach, moringa leaves, or papaya leaves. 2. Keep the pond clean and sunlit. Pathogens thrive in stagnant, dirty environments. Perform regular bottom cleaning and water exchange, 20 to 30% weekly. Allow sunlight to reach the pond floor whenever possible. Ultraviolet light is nature's disinfectant. Every few weeks, drain shallow layers of water and let the edges dry out for a day under the sun. This kills eggs of parasites like anchorworms and promotes fresh algal growth, keeping the ecosystem balanced. 3. Quarantine and observation. Never introduce new fish directly into your main pond. Always quarantine them in a separate tank for 7 to 10 days. Monitoring for signs of disease. During this time, treat them with a salt bath or potassium permanganate solution to eliminate external parasites. Natural remedies. Healing without harming. Modern aquaculture increasingly favors eco-friendly treatments, remedies that heal the fish while protecting water quality. These natural approaches have been used by traditional farmers for centuries, now backed by science. 1. Neem and Melia leaves. Both neem, Azadirachta indica, and Melia azadirach, leaves contain natural compounds that repel or kill parasites and bacteria. Collect 3 to 4 kilograms of fresh leaves for every 100 square meters of pond area. Crush or soak them in water overnight. Then distribute the extract evenly across the pond. This creates a mild, natural pesticide effect that helps control anchorworms, lice, and bacterial blooms without harming the fish. 2. Salt baths. Plain non-iodized salt is one of the most versatile, inexpensive treatments available. Prepare a 2 to 3% salt solution, 20 to 30 grams per liter of water. Immerse infected fish for 5 to 10 minutes under supervision. Salt reduces osmotic stress, kills external parasites, and promotes faster recovery. 3. Potassium permanganate. This purple crystalline compound is a powerful disinfectant when used carefully. Use at 2 to 3 milligrams per liter for pond-wide treatment, or 10 milligrams per liter for short baths. It oxidizes organic matter, eliminates parasites, and prevents secondary bacterial infections. Never overdose. Too much potassium permanganate can damage fish gills. Always dissolve it completely in water before applying. Early detection. Catch it before it spreads. The key to stopping disease is watching your fish closely. Fish rarely show symptoms until they're in trouble, but trained eyes can spot the warning signs. Look out for loss of appetite. Fish stop eating or ignore feed platforms. Surface swimming or gasping, oxygen stress or infection in the gills. Red gills or fins, sign of bacterial infection or poor water quality. Sluggish or erratic movement, early indicator of viral or parasitic attack. Abnormal color or white patches, could indicate fungal growth or parasites. Act immediately when you notice any of these symptoms. Delay can turn a small issue into a full-scale outbreak. Rule of treatment: fix the water first, then the fish. One golden rule separates successful farmers from the rest: you don't treat the fish, you treat the water first. Most fish diseases begin with poor water conditions, so before adding any medicine, check your ponds. pH should be 6.5 to 7.5. Ammonia should be below 0.05 milligrams per liter. Oxygen above 5 milligrams per liter. Perform a partial water change and apply lime or probiotics to stabilize the environment. Only after restoring good water quality should you begin targeted treatments. Clean water alone often helps the fish recover naturally. The science of caution: test before you treat. When things get serious, don't rush to dump antibiotics into your pond. Misuse leads to antibiotic resistance, environmental damage, and market rejection, especially in countries with strict import regulations. Always consult a local aquatic vet or lab before using antibiotics. They can help identify the specific pathogen and recommend the safest, most effective dosage. In many cases, mild bacterial infections can be cured through improved water conditions and natural remedies alone. Think of antibiotics as a last resort, not a first response. The healthier the pond, the stronger the fish. Disease management isn't about fighting illness, it's about building resilience. When your fish are well fed, your pond is clean, and your ecosystem is balanced, pathogens have no place to thrive. By combining modern science with traditional wisdom, you'll maintain a living system that heals itself, strong, sustainable, and ready for profit. In the next section, we'll move from health to harvesting and marketing, revealing how to turn your thriving pond into a steady stream of income. 8. Harvesting and market strategy. After months of nurturing, feeding, and protecting your grass carp, the final moment arrives: harvest time. This is where all your hard work, patience, and smart management pay off. But harvesting isn't just about catching fish, it's about timing, precision, and marketing strategy. Done correctly, it can turn an ordinary yield into a powerful business advantage. Let's walk through how to harvest like a professional farmer and sell like a savvy entrepreneur. When to harvest: size, timing, and readiness. Grass carp typically reach 2 to 5 kilograms, 4 to 11 pounds, within 10 to 12 months. Depending on water quality, feeding, and climate, this size range is ideal for both local markets and restaurant buyers, large enough to command premium prices, yet tender enough to meet culinary demand. If your goal is to sell to supermarkets or export buyers, uniformity matters. Aim for consistent sizes within a batch. It simplifies processing and earns higher prices per kilogram. Before harvesting, stop feeding your fish 24 hours in advance. This allows their digestive systems to empty, reducing contamination during handling and improving the meat's flavor and shelf life. Harvesting methods: gentle, efficient, and safe. The way you harvest your fish directly affects their quality, and therefore, your profits. Rough handling or poor timing can bruise the fish, cause stress, or shorten freshness. 1. Netting, for small and medium ponds. For ponds under 2.000 square meters, drag netting is the most common and cost-effective method. Use a fine mesh seine net that covers the entire pond width. Begin from the shallow side, slowly guiding the fish toward one corner. Avoid sudden movements or loud noises that could panic the fish. A second, smaller net can then scoop fish gently into baskets or tubs lined with soft material. Always keep fish submerged in water as much as possible during transfer. Stress-free fish mean firmer meat and longer freshness. 2. Partial draining, for large or deep ponds. In larger systems, partial draining helps reduce labor and makes fish easier to catch. Lower the water level gradually, leaving about 30 to 50 centimeters depth. This concentrates the fish without shocking them. Combine with netting for quick, efficient collection. Never drain completely unless you plan to clean or restock immediately afterward. Keeping some water ensures oxygen stability and prevents the pond bed from overheating. Best time to harvest. Catch the morning advantage. The perfect harvest happens in the early morning, just after sunrise. Cooler water temperatures reduce stress and help preserve freshness during transport. Avoid harvesting at noon or in high heat, oxygen levels drop. Fish become restless, and spoilage risks rise. If you must harvest later in the day, use aeration pumps and shaded holding tanks with continuous water flow. Freshness is your greatest marketing asset. From pond to market, aim to deliver fish within 4 to 6 hours of harvest for the best quality and customer satisfaction. Expected yields. Turning effort into numbers. How much can you actually expect to produce? The answer depends on your level of management and investment. Traditional systems, low input. Natural feeding. Yield around 5 to 8 tons per hectare, 2 to 3 tons per acre. Semi-intensive systems, supplemented feed plus aeration, produce 10 to 15 tons per hectare. Intensive systems, controlled water, advanced feeding, and tech integration, can achieve 15 to 30 tons per hectare, sometimes even more. At an average farm gate price of $2.50 per kilogram. A 1 hectare intensive system could generate $30 minus 75.000 per cycle. Depending on management skill and local demand. What makes grass carp especially attractive is its low feed cost and high feed conversion ratio, FCR, roughly 1.51, meaning you only need 1.5 kilograms of feed to produce 1 kilogram of fish. Few livestock models can match that efficiency. Where to sell? Building reliable market channels. Once harvested, your next challenge is finding the right buyer and making sure you get the best price for your product. Let's explore your options. 1. Local restaurants and wet markets. These are the backbone of rural aquaculture. Fresh fish delivered directly from the pond fetches 10 to 20% higher prices than wholesale channels. Build relationships with restaurant owners, especially those specializing in Asian or health-conscious cuisine. Offer weekly deliveries or special cuts like fillets or cleaned whole fish. Wet markets remain a major hub for fresh fish trade. Bring well-packed, ice-chilled fish in insulated boxes, and display them attractively. Clean presentation can make the difference between average and premium sales. 2. Online and home delivery. Digital transformation is changing even aquaculture. Many small farmers now sell directly to consumers through Facebook, TikTok Shop, or local delivery apps, with a few photos and short videos showing your pond and harvest. You can attract customers who value freshness and transparency. Offer same-day delivery within your area. People love the idea of buying fish harvested this morning. It builds trust, loyalty, and repeat business. 3. Processing companies and contracts. For stability and volume, consider signing supply contracts with fish processing or exporting companies. They provide guaranteed pricing, technical support, and sometimes even seed or feed financing. Although the price per kilogram may be slightly lower, the security of consistent demand often outweighs the difference. Contract farming is ideal for medium to large producers who prioritize steady income over market fluctuations. Export opportunities. Quality opens doors. As demand for sustainable protein grows, export markets for clean, farm-raised grass carp are expanding, particularly in China, Korea, Japan, and Eastern Europe. To access these lucrative channels, you'll need to comply with recognized standards like Viet Gap, Vietnamese Good Aquaculture Practice, Global Gap or USDA Organic Aquaculture for U.S. exports. These certifications require traceable records, safe feed sources, and clean farming systems, all of which you can achieve by following modern pond management practices. Export quality grass carp typically earn 20 to 30% higher prices than domestic sales. Even small farmers can participate by joining local cooperatives or export clusters that pool harvests to meet volume requirements. Branding for small farmers. Turning fish into a story. In today's digital age, people don't just buy food, they buy stories. The most successful small farmers know how to market their fish as a trusted brand. Not just a product. Start simple. Use social media to share short videos of your daily work, feeding, water testing, harvesting. Highlight the values behind your farm: natural feed, clean water, family-raised fish. Join local cooperatives to access collective branding, shared cold storage, and joint marketing. You don't need fancy packaging or a big budget, just authenticity. Consumers love transparency, especially when they can see where their food comes from. Turn your farm's journey into a narrative. Call it something like Clean Fish from Natural Ponds, or Eco-Raised Grass Carp, from Pond to Plate. Add your farm name or location for credibility. Even a small rural farmer can build a strong brand identity. One viral post or a loyal community connection can change everything. The final mile. From pond to profit. Harvesting isn't the end of the cycle, it's the beginning of your reputation. Every sale, every delivery, every satisfied customer strengthens your standing in the market. With clean farming, proper timing, and smart marketing, grass carp farming transforms from a humble pond venture into a scalable agribusiness model, one that combines traditional knowledge with modern strategy. As your fish swim from your pond to dinner plates across towns, cities, and even countries, remember, what you're really selling is more than food, it's trust, sustainability, and the story of your hard work. 9. Real success stories, farmers who did it. Numbers can tell you a lot: growth rates, ROI, stocking density, but nothing speaks louder than real farmers turning quiet ponds into thriving, cash-generating businesses. Across Vietnam, everyday people are proving that grass carp farming isn't just theory, it's a practical, life-changing model that works. These aren't corporate farms or massive investments, they're smallholders, families, and cooperatives who saw opportunity where others saw still water. Let's meet 4 of them, each with a different approach, but all united by innovation, discipline, and the belief that clean, sustainable aquaculture can transform their lives. Case 1. Tran Van Nhan, the cage farmer who beat the odds, Quang Ngai Province. In the central highlands of Quang Ngai, along the Tra Cuc River, Tran Van Nhan, a 43-year-old farmer, decided to try something bold. Instead of digging ponds like his neighbors, he built 3 floating cages, each about 25 cubic meters, anchored in the river's slow-moving section. His total startup investment was modest, just around $1 per cage. Including net materials, frames, and fingerlings, what he lacked in experience, he made up for with relentless curiosity and precision. Nhan stocked 600 grass carp fingerlings per cage, feeding them primarily with locally sourced Napier grass and rice bran. He monitored the river's water flow daily and used a small solar aerator to maintain oxygen levels inside the cages. After 10 months, his hard work paid off. Each cage yielded nearly 1 ton of fish, fetching $2.50 minus $2.80 per kilogram in local markets. His profit per cage? Around $2.500, more than double what he could earn from traditional rice farming on the same area. What set Nhan apart was his consistency. "I treat the river like a living partner," he said. "It gives back exactly what you give it: care, cleanliness, and respect." Key takeaways from Nhan's model. Feed efficiency. Grass-based diet lowered costs by nearly 40%. Water management. River flow naturally refreshed the cages, reducing disease. Tech adoption. A simple solar aerator increased survival rates and growth speed. His story inspired several other farmers in the region to switch from rice paddies to river cage farming. A testament to how innovation spreads from one determined individual. Case 2. Pham Thi Hue, the backyard millionaire, from Hai Duong. 100 miles north, in the fertile plains of Hai Duong, Pham Thi Hue, a 39-year-old mother of two, turned her family's unused backyard pond into a full-scale aquaculture business. Starting with a 1.200 square meter pond, Hue invested in HDPE lining to stabilize water quality and simplify maintenance. Her goal was ambitious: to produce market-grade grass carp within a year using intensive farming methods. Hue stocked 2.000 fingerlings, feeding them with a mix of Napier grass, duckweed, and 20% pellet supplements. She maintained water parameters meticulously, checking pH twice a week, applying probiotics regularly, and changing 25% of the water every 10 days. Within 11 months, her pond produced over 3 tons of grass carp, each weighing around 3 kilograms. Local restaurants and distributors snapped up her fish at $2 per kilogram, generating $6 in revenue, with roughly $3 in profit after expenses. What made Hue's story viral across local farming groups wasn't just her yield, but her branding. She named her project Green Pond Clean Fish, created a small Facebook page, and shared videos of her daily routine: feeding, testing water, harvesting. Within weeks, she built a loyal local following and gained direct buyers who pre-ordered every batch. Key lessons from Hue's model: HDPE liner plus probiotics equals clear, controlled, disease-free pond. Smart branding, clean farming, messaging attracted premium buyers. Digital presence: a free Facebook page became her most powerful sales tool. Hue often says, "People think you need big land to earn big money. You just need clean water and a cleaner reputation." Case 3. The Lai Chau Cooperative, power in numbers. Up in the misty mountains of Lai Chau, a group of 20 households decided to do something revolutionary. Instead of working alone, they pooled their land, resources, and knowledge to form the Sin Ho Aquaculture Cooperative. Each household contributed about half a hectare of pond area, forming a collective of 10 hectares under unified management. Together, they focused on grass carp as their primary species, supplemented with tilapia and silver carp for water balance. They followed standardized practices: liming weekly, 3 kilograms per 100 square meters, using organic compost to stimulate plankton growth, maintaining a strict feed ratio of 70% grass, 30% bran, pellets. After one production cycle, the results were impressive: an average yield of 8 tons per hectare and a net profit of roughly 40 million Vietnamese dongs, $1.600 per hectare. But the real magic was in their cooperative power. By selling collectively, they secured bulk contracts with distributors in Hanoi, reducing price volatility. They also received government support to train members in water testing, bookkeeping, and fish health monitoring. Beyond economics, the cooperative model built something priceless: community confidence. It showed that collaboration, not competition, can elevate small farmers into powerful suppliers. Key takeaways from the Lai Chau Cooperative: collective action, shared resources lowered individual risk. Training and record-keeping, improved farm efficiency and compliance. Market leverage, group selling attracted stable, high-value contracts. This model is now being replicated in neighboring provinces as a blueprint for rural aquaculture development. Case 4. The River Cage Pioneers of Hue, where tradition meets sustainability. In the poetic city of Hue, along the Perfume River, a group of families revived a fading tradition: cage-based fish farming. But they did it differently, combining modern materials and eco-friendly practices to create a model that's both profitable and sustainable. Each household maintained 2 to 3 HDPE floating cages, raising grass carp exclusively with natural feed, chopped grass, banana stems, and aquatic plants from nearby fields. Unlike industrial farms, These families refused to use chemicals or antibiotics. Instead, they relied on biological cleaning methods, neem leaves to repel parasites, lime to balance pH, and probiotics to stabilize water. After 12 months, each cage yielded about 1 ton of fish, generating roughly $2 profit per cage, a remarkable figure considering minimal operating costs. But what truly stood out was their environmental consciousness. The group installed floating waste collection nets to prevent feed debris from drifting downstream, keeping the river clean and preserving its natural beauty. Their efforts caught the attention of local tourism programs, which began offering eco-fishing tours, where visitors could experience feeding and harvesting sessions. This brought in an entirely new revenue stream, agritourism, adding 15 to 20% to their annual income. Key lessons from the Hugh River Cage Model. Eco-sustainability equals profitability. Clean water attracts both fish and tourists. Innovation with tradition. Upgrading old practices with new materials, HDPE cages. Diversification. Agritourism boosted income and visibility. Extracting the big lessons, what these farmers teach us. Across all 4 cases, from Nyan's river cages to Hugh's eco-farms, a clear pattern emerges. Successful grass carp farmers share more than good luck, they share mindset, discipline, and adaptability. Here are the top lessons to carry forward. 1. Feed efficiency is profit efficiency. Every dollar saved on feed is a dollar earned. Using natural vegetation like napier and duckweed reduced costs by 30 to 40% in every case, proving that simple methods still outperform expensive ones when managed right. 2. Water is wealth. Clean, oxygenated water isn't just a condition, it's capital. Regular liming, partial draining, and sunlight exposure prevented disease and increased growth speed. Farmers who invested time in water quality reaped higher survival rates and fewer losses. 3. Technology doesn't have to be expensive. From HDPE liners to solar aerators and record-keeping apps, even small investments in technology delivered major returns. Farmers who tracked data or adopted clean pond systems consistently outperformed those who didn't. 4. Collaboration multiplies success. The Lai Chow cooperative model demonstrated that unity is power. When farmers act together, sharing knowledge, resources, and market access, they transform from smallholders into serious business operators. 5. Marketing is the missing link. FamT Hugh's Facebook page and the Hugh family's eco-tourism initiative showed that storytelling sells. Clean, traceable fish raised naturally will always find eager buyers, especially when the farmer becomes the face of the story. From mountain villages to river deltas, these real-life success stories prove that grass carp farming is more than just aquaculture, it's a path to independence, innovation, and sustainable prosperity. If they can do it, so can you, because the next success story the world hears about could be yours. 10. Profit analysis and financial blueprint. When it comes to farming, profit isn't just about how much you produce, it's about how efficiently you turn every dollar of investment into returns. Grass carp farming has quietly become one of the most cost-effective aquaculture ventures in Asia, offering farmers an incredible balance of low startup costs, minimal risks, and steady profits. Let's break down exactly how the numbers work, why the return on investment is so impressive, and how you can scale this model into a long-term, income-generating business. The financial foundation. Costs that make sense. Imagine you're setting up a 1.000 square meter pond, a modest size that fits comfortably in most rural backyards or small farms. Your total startup expenses might surprise you, because they're refreshingly low compared to other forms of aquaculture. The biggest initial cost goes into preparing your pond, excavation, slope leveling, and adding a durable HDPE liner to prevent leakage and maintain water quality typically range from $500 to $600. This one-time investment pays off for years, reducing maintenance costs and improving yields. Next, you'll need fingerlings, the baby grass carp that will soon become your income-generating stock. purchasing 800 to 1.000 healthy fingerlings, each around 3 to 5 inches, from a reliable hatchery costs about $150 to $200. Always choose uniform-sized, active fish with shiny silver scales to ensure even growth and survival. Feeding is your most consistent expense, but it's still relatively low. Grass carp thrive on natural vegetation, so you won't be pouring money into costly pellets like shrimp or catfish farmers. A yearly feed budget of $500 to $700 easily covers grass, rice bran, and about 20% of high-protein pellets for faster growth during colder months. Finally, miscellaneous costs, such as lime, probiotics, water testing, basic equipment, and routine maintenance, come to about $100 per cycle. When everything is totaled, your complete operational investment for one full production year lands between $1.400 and $1.600. That's a surprisingly small figure for an enterprise that can yield thousands of dollars in profit. The revenue reality: turning water into wealth. Now let's talk about income, where the real magic happens. From that same 1.000 square meter pond, a well-managed operation can yield 2 to 3 tons of market-ready grass carp in about 10 to 12 months. At a conservative selling price of $2.50 per kilogram, your gross revenue ranges between $5 and $7 per year. Even after deducting all operating costs, your net profit comfortably falls between $3 and $4, translating to an astonishing 200 to 250% return on investment, ROI, annually. Few agricultural models, even livestock or high-value crops, can deliver such consistent margins. The key lies in the species' low input requirements. Grass carp convert cheap vegetation into valuable protein with remarkable efficiency. Their feed conversion ratio, FCR, is typically around 1.5:1, meaning every 1.5 kilograms of feed produces 1 kilogram of fish. Far better than shrimp, 2.5:1, or catfish, 2:1. Even small-scale farmers can see these returns with limited capital, making this model perfect for rural families, retirees, or side income entrepreneurs. Comparative profitability: grass carp versus other aquaculture species. To understand just how profitable grass carp farming can be, it helps to compare it with other popular species grown in similar-sized systems. In general, tilapia farming requires more intensive feeding and frequent water changes. Its ROI usually falls between 80 to 120% per cycle. Catfish farming, while resilient, demands high-protein pellets and frequent aeration, pushing costs up and profits down to around 100 to 150% ROI. Shrimp farming, although lucrative, is risky and sensitive to disease. One bad batch can wipe out an entire pond. ROI fluctuates wildly between -50% and +200%, depending on management. Frog farming is niche and can yield fast returns, but requires specialized enclosures and hygiene control, limiting scalability. ROI averages 120 to 180%. In contrast, grass carp consistently delivers 200 to 250% ROI with minimal risk and environmental impact. It's stable, predictable, and accessible to nearly anyone willing to follow a structured plan. Seasonal cycles: timing the flow of profit. Understanding the rhythm of nature is crucial for maximizing returns. Grass carp farming typically follows an annual cycle. Fingerlings are stocked in early spring or late summer, and harvest occurs the following year. However, farmers in warmer climates can optimize operations by staggering 2 ponds or partitioning a large one into sections, allowing continuous harvest every 5 to 6 months. This rotation system keeps cash flowing throughout the year and spreads risk across multiple batches. Feed availability also influences timing. If you grow your own Napier or Sudan grass, plan planting and harvesting schedules to align with the fish's growth stages. This ensures a steady supply of natural feed and reduces market dependency. Scaling up, from one pond to an enterprise. Once your first pond proves successful, expansion becomes straightforward. Adding additional ponds or upgrading to cage or tank systems multiplies both yield and profit. For example, 3 ponds of similar size can produce 6 to 9 tons annually, generating $15 to $20 in revenue with manageable scaling of costs. Cooperative models, where neighboring farmers share water resources, aerators, or feed supply, make scaling even easier and reduce unit costs per kilogram of fish. With smart branding and consistent quality, you can also tap into higher value markets, restaurants, export buyers, or organic certification schemes. Every upgrade in quality adds another layer to your profit margin. Risk management, protecting your investment. Like any business, aquaculture carries risks, but the grass carp model keeps them low and manageable. Still, awareness and preparation are key. Disease prevention, regular water testing, sunlight exposure, and probiotic use drastically reduce the risk of bacterial or parasitic outbreaks. Feed costs. Grow your own feed to buffer against market fluctuations. Napier grass and duckweed are reliable, renewable sources. Water quality fluctuations. Install a simple aeration system and partial drainage setup. Small, steady adjustments always outperform drastic interventions. Market variation. Build long-term relationships with restaurants, cooperatives, and online buyers to ensure stable demand. For additional security, many farmers now insure their aquaculture operations under local agricultural insurance programs, a small premium that protects against natural disasters or sudden disease losses. The bottom line: small pond, big opportunity. When you add it all up, grass carp farming isn't just profitable, it's empowering. With an investment under $1.600, you can build a self-sustaining micro-enterprise that yields $3-4 in annual profit. That's the kind of ROI most startups dream about, and it's achieved not with expensive machines or complex technology, but with clean water, good management, and patience. It's a rare business where your biggest expense isn't equipment or feed, it's time and care. Yet, that time pays back many times over, turning simple ponds into living, breathing profit centers. In the final part of this blueprint, we'll show you how to take this success even further, building your own brand, expanding markets, and turning your grass carp farm into a sustainable legacy for your community and your future. 11. Expert tips for high productivity. In aquaculture, experience is everything. You can read every guide, buy the best equipment, and follow every formula, but success still comes down to one thing: how well you understand your pond. The most productive farmers don't just manage water and feed, they read the pond like a living system. They notice tiny changes, sense patterns, and act before problems turn into disasters. After decades of research and thousands of on-the-ground success stories, experts in aquaculture agree that long-term productivity can be summed up in 3 timeless rules, the foundation for every profitable and sustainable grass carp farm. The 3 rules of success. Rule number 1. Monitor water like your own heartbeat. Your pond's water is its lifeblood. Just like your heartbeat tells you when something's wrong, changes in water quality are the earliest signs of trouble. A slight dip in oxygen, a sudden shift in pH, or an unusual color in the water can mean stress for your fish, and lost profit for you. Keep a simple daily water log. Check pH every morning, ideal range 6.5-7.5, and observe oxygen levels, especially before sunrise. If fish gather near the surface gasping for air, it's your pond begging for help. Install a small aeration system, even a solar-powered air pump, and run it during the night or early dawn. Test ammonia once a week using inexpensive kits. If levels rise above 0.05 milligrams per liter, reduce feeding and perform a partial water change immediately. Remember, the pond doesn't fail suddenly, it whispers first. The best farmers are the ones who listen early. Rule number 2. Feed your fish, not your pond. Overfeeding is one of the most common, and costly, mistakes in aquaculture. What you think is kindness can quickly become poison. Excess feed settles at the bottom, rots, and releases ammonia, which suffocates fish and destroys beneficial microbes. The golden rule is to feed based on appetite, not habit. Watch how your grass carp respond during each feeding. If they stop eating within 15 minutes, stop feeding. Uneaten feed should never remain visible on the surface. Use floating feeding platforms to monitor consumption and adjust portions daily. Remember, grass carp are herbivores, they thrive on natural vegetation. So balance grass feeding with only the necessary amount of supplementary pellets. A good feeding schedule is twice a day, morning, 7 to 8 a.m., and late afternoon, 4 to 5 p.m. Avoid feeding at night or during heavy rain when oxygen levels drop. When you feed efficiently, you save money, improve water quality, and speed up growth. Feeding less, but smarter, always wins. Rule number 3. Respect nature. No shortcuts with chemicals. A clean pond is not a sterile one. Many beginners make the mistake of using excessive disinfectants or chemicals to keep their ponds perfect. But nature doesn't work that way. Chemicals can disrupt the pond's microbiome, the invisible army of beneficial bacteria that maintain balance. Instead, use natural probiotics, lime, and organic compost to stabilize conditions. Let sunlight, plants, and clean water do the heavy lifting. If you must treat a disease, use the mildest solution first, salt, neem leaves, or potassium permanganate, and always test the water before adding anything. The best farmers understand they are partners with nature, not its masters. Respecting that relationship ensures long-term productivity and environmental sustainability. Perfect conditions, balancing light, temperature, and oxygen. Grass carp are resilient, but they have a comfort zone. Keep water temperature between 72 degrees Fahrenheit and 82 degrees Fahrenheit, 22 to 28 degrees Celsius, for optimal growth. Temperatures below 68 degrees Fahrenheit slow metabolism, while anything above 88 degrees Fahrenheit can cause oxygen depletion and stress. Sunlight is essential. At least 5 to 6 hours of light daily to promote plankton growth and natural oxygen production. However, if the pond is shallow or overexposed, use floating plants or bamboo shades to regulate temperature and prevent overheating. Oxygen is non-negotiable. The sweet spot is 5 milligrams per liter or higher. Use aerators during hot afternoons and at night, when natural oxygen drops. A simple observation trick: if fish stay near the surface at dawn, they're telling you oxygen is low. Act immediately. Turn on aerators, spray fresh water, or reduce feeding. Emergency checklist. Quick reactions save lives. Even the best-run ponds face sudden challenges. Keep this emergency checklist ready to protect your investment. 1. Low oxygen crisis. Stop feeding immediately. Turn on aerators or splash water using buckets to create turbulence. Add fresh water slowly. Avoid disturbing fish. Stress kills faster than oxygen loss. 2. Disease outbreak. Isolate affected fish in a separate tank. Perform a 20% water change. Disinfect using lime, 5 kg, 100 m², and apply probiotics. Consult a technician before using antibiotics. 3. Sudden water pollution. Identify the source, runoff, waste, or dead feed. Drain partially and flush with clean water. Rebalance with organic fertilizer or M solution. Quick, calm action always beats panic. Every minute counts when managing a live system. The golden observation rule. There's one saying that every successful farmer swears by: if your fish stop swimming or feeding, your pond is talking. Listen to it. Your fish are your best sensors. Their behavior reveals everything: water quality, oxygen levels, feed issues, or hidden disease. Watch them closely. A quiet, lazy pond is never normal. Healthy grass carp are active, curious, and responsive to feeding. Observation is not guesswork, it's daily discipline. The more time you spend by your pond, the fewer problems you'll face. In the end, Productivity doesn't come from expensive equipment or fancy chemicals. It comes from attention, timing, and respect for the rhythm of life underwater. Master these principles, and your pond won't just produce fish, it will produce freedom, stability, and pride. 12. Scaling up in rural entrepreneurship. For many small farmers, one pond is just the beginning. What starts as a backyard experiment, a simple source of extra income, can evolve into a thriving microfarm network. A community-based model that creates jobs, inspires young people, and revives rural economies. The grass carp isn't just a fish, it's a gateway to rural entrepreneurship. Proving that with smart planning, sustainable practices, and creativity, even a few hundred square meters of water can grow into a full-scale business ecosystem. From one pond to a microfarm network. Scaling up doesn't always mean going bigger, sometimes. It means getting smarter. Once your first pond is stable, expanding to a network of small interconnected ponds allows you to multiply yields while spreading risk. You can divide your land into zones, one pond for fingerling rearing, another for grow out, and a third for quarantine or experimental feeding. This rotation system keeps production continuous year-round, ensuring that as one pond is harvested, another is ready for stocking. If land is limited, collaboration is the key. Team up with neighbors or relatives to form a cluster farm, a group of small ponds managed collectively under shared standards. Each farmer specializes in one phase of production: seed rearing, feed cultivation, or harvesting. This reduces costs, increases efficiency, and builds local expertise. When 5 or 10 farmers come together under one name, they transform from individuals into a local brand, a cooperative with negotiating power and community identity. Partnering for growth, restaurants, cooperatives, and ecotourism. Scaling up also means scaling relationships. One of the most effective strategies for expansion is to partner with restaurants, local cooperatives, and ecotourism projects. Restaurants are always on the hunt for fresh, traceable ingredients. Approach local chefs and offer consistent weekly deliveries of clean, naturally raised grass carp. Better yet, invite them to visit your farm. When they see how you raise your fish, with clean water, natural feed, and care, they become your strongest advocates. Proudly featuring locally sourced grass carp on their menus. Joining a cooperative offers stability and access to larger markets. Cooperatives provide collective bargaining, shared cold storage, and connections to government programs or buyers. They also help members access certifications like Viet Gap or USDA Organic, which open doors to premium export prices. Ecotourism is another powerful, modern opportunity. Across Asia, farm-to-table experiences are attracting visitors eager to reconnect with nature. You can open your pond to visitors, organize weekend fishing tours, or teach families how sustainable fish farming works. A small setup with bamboo huts, feeding demonstrations, and local dishes can earn extra income and turn your farm into an educational attraction. The power of storytelling marketing. In the digital age, your story is your brand. People don't just buy fish, they buy meaning, freshness, sustainability, and authenticity. Sharing your journey online turns your pond into a living story that resonates with buyers. Take photos and videos of your daily routine, feeding the fish, checking the water, harvesting at sunrise. Post them on Facebook, TikTok, or YouTube with captions that reflect your mission: clean water, clean food, honest living. Short videos showing before and after transformations, from barren land to thriving ponds, inspire trust and admiration. Consumers love transparency. When they see the faces behind their food, they become emotionally connected, and that connection turns into loyalty. Small farmers across Vietnam, Thailand, and Indonesia have built thousands of loyal customers this way. No middlemen, no fancy marketing agencies, just smartphones, storytelling, and sincerity. Empowering women and youth, a business for everyone. Grass carp farming is not just profitable, it's inclusive. Unlike many traditional agricultural sectors that demand heavy labor or large capital, Fish farming is accessible to women and youth, offering flexible, home-based opportunities with high returns. In many rural families, women already manage feeding schedules, cleaning routines, and marketing. Turning that into a formal business empowers them financially and socially. Youth, with their digital fluency, bring innovation. They record daily videos, manage social pages, and connect the farm to online customers. A family-run pond can become a multi-generational enterprise. Parents handle production, children handle marketing, and the whole household benefits. Each small success adds up, reshaping local economies from the ground up. Grass carp farming breaks the myth that rural life means poverty or stagnation. It shows that innovation and entrepreneurship can bloom anywhere, even in a pond behind your house. Green growth through blue farming. Scaling up responsibly means keeping sustainability at the heart of every expansion. The phrase, green growth through blue farming, captures this perfectly, building economic prosperity while protecting the planet's water resources. Every new pond or cage you add should follow the principles of eco-efficiency, using solar aerators instead of fossil fuel pumps, recycling organic waste as fertilizer, and maintaining biodiversity with polyculture systems. By aligning with green goals, you make your business not just profitable, but future-proof. Consumers and investors increasingly support farms that care for the environment. Governments, too, are offering grants and incentives for green aquaculture, giving you both recognition and funding opportunities. When your operation grows, don't just count your fish, measure your impact: cleaner water, better food, and more jobs for your community. That's real growth, sustainable, visible, and deeply human. Scaling up a grass carp farm isn't about building an empire, it's about building a movement, one where small farmers, families, and entire villages rediscover their strength through collaboration, technology, and purpose. From a single pond to a regional network, from a local market to an online brand, it all begins with one simple truth: when you nurture the water nurtures you back. 13. The future of grass carp farming. As the world faces rising food costs, dwindling natural resources, and growing pressure to reduce carbon emissions, one humble species is emerging as an unlikely hero: the grass carp. Once known mainly as an Asian staple fish, it is now being recognized globally as a key player in the future of sustainable food systems. With its fast growth, plant-based diet, and low environmental footprint, the grass carp may soon become the future protein of freshwater farming, feeding millions while helping restore ecological balance. Let's look at how this quiet fish is making a big splash in the future of global aquaculture. A solution for global food security and climate action. By 2050, the world's population will surpass 9 billion, and the demand for protein will double. Traditional livestock like cattle and poultry consume vast land, water, and feed resources, contributing heavily to greenhouse gas emissions. Grass carp offers a cleaner, greener alternative. Unlike carnivorous fish that rely on costly fish meal, grass carp are herbivorous, feeding primarily on vegetation, algae, and farm byproducts. That means they require zero ocean resources and leave a much smaller carbon footprint. Each kilogram of grass carp meat produces a fraction of the emissions generated by pork or beef. In Asia, it's already a cornerstone of freshwater food security, and now, nations across Africa and Latin America are adopting it to combat protein shortages. With simple ponds, minimal inputs, and sustainable methods, even small villages can ensure steady access to nutritious food. By producing affordable, low-carbon protein, grass carp farming directly supports two global missions: ending hunger and fighting climate change. Integration with aquaponics and hydroponic systems. The next leap for grass carp farming lies in technology, particularly in aquaponics and hydroponics integration. In these systems, fish and plants grow together in a closed, symbiotic loop. The fish produce waste, beneficial bacteria converted into nutrients, and plants use those nutrients to thrive, while purifying the water for the fish. Grass carp are perfect for this model. Their vegetarian diet and calm nature make them ideal for urban farming setups and greenhouse-based aquaponics, where farmers can grow vegetables like lettuce, basil, or water spinach alongside the fish. Cities from Bangkok to San Francisco are experimenting with these eco-farms, turning rooftops, warehouses, and abandoned lots into blue-green factories that produce both protein and produce year-round. It's farming without soil, pollution, or waste, a circular economy in action. Grass carp's adaptability, gentle feeding habits, and clean waste make it the ideal species to lead this quiet revolution. The Western market awakens. Eco-friendly fish for the future. The Western world is waking up to the potential of sustainable aquaculture, and the grass carp fits perfectly into the movement toward eco-friendly, plant-fed seafood. Consumers in the US and Europe are demanding transparency, traceability, and low-impact protein. That's why eco-labels like plant-fed fish and blue carbon farming are gaining traction in health-conscious markets. With proper branding, emphasizing clean water, no antibiotics, and zero fish meal, grass carp could become the poster child of sustainable freshwater protein. In many Western kitchens, chefs are already experimenting with it, praising its mild flavor and versatility for grilling, steaming, and filleting. Export-ready farms that follow standards like Global GAP, Viet GAP, or USDA Organic can tap into premium markets, doubling their profits while setting new standards for green aquaculture. Government support and green startups. Governments worldwide are recognizing aquaculture as a driver of rural innovation and environmental recovery. Many countries now offer grants, low-interest loans, and training programs for young entrepreneurs starting sustainable fish farms. In Vietnam, India, and China, programs promoting eco-aquaculture already subsidize HDPE liners, solar aerators, and probiotic inputs. Similar initiatives are emerging in Africa and Eastern Europe, where farmers are encouraged to shift from capture fishing to clean, circular aquaculture models. For rural youth, this is more than farming, it's a green startup revolution. With digital tools, community training, and eco-certifications, the next generation of farmers can build scalable businesses while contributing to national sustainability goals. The future protein of freshwater farming. If the 20th century was the age of industrial agriculture, the 21st will be the age of sustainable aquaculture, and grass carp will stand at its forefront. It's efficient, climate-friendly, and inclusive. It empowers small farmers while feeding large populations. It proves that the path to the future of food doesn't run through factories or feedlots, but through clean water, sunlight, and cooperation with nature. The future isn't just blue or green, it's blue-green. And the grass carp is leading the way. So here we are, at the end of an incredible journey that started with a simple question. What if your pond could earn more than your paycheck? You've seen it step by step, from the first shovel in the soil to the calm, thriving pond filled with life. You've learned how to design it, stock it, feed it, protect it, and finally, turn it into a living business. What began as a quiet body of water has become something far more powerful, a self-sustaining ecosystem, a source of income, and a symbol of how smart, sustainable farming can change lives. This isn't just about fish. It's about the future of food, the resilience of rural communities, and the untapped potential that lies in every backyard, every village, and every drop of clean water. Across Asia, from the rice fields of Vietnam to the riverbanks of India and the mountain valleys of China, farmers with little more than a dream and determination have turned ponds like yours into profitable, eco-friendly enterprises. Some started with nothing but a few square meters and a handful of fingerlings. Today, they're feeding their families, building homes, and inspiring others to follow their path. And here's the truth: if they can do it, so can you. You don't need hundreds of acres or expensive technology. You don't even need a big pond. Start with a 4x4 foot tank, or dig a small pond behind your house. Use local grass, natural compost, and clean water. The key isn't size, it's consistency, curiosity, and care. That's where transformation begins. Think about it. Your backyard, once empty, could soon ripple with life. Water glistening under the sun, fish growing quietly below, and your hands guiding it all. That's not just farming, that's empowerment. It's the moment when nature and entrepreneurship meet. Let this be your sign to take the first step. Build that pond, raise those fingerlings, watch the water come alive. Because every small pond that starts today becomes part of a larger revolution, a global movement of farmers, creators, and dreamers building prosperity from the ground up. And this revolution? It begins with you. We want to hear your story. Drop a comment below and tell us your dream pond size, your location, or your first idea for sustainable farming. Share this video with someone who needs inspiration, someone who's looking for hope, opportunity, or a reason to believe in their own potential again. Join the growing community of innovators who are reshaping rural economies, one pond, one farm, and one story at a time. Because in this new era of green growth and blue farming, you don't need to chase opportunity. You can grow it. From green grass to golden profit, the revolution begins in your backyard. And if you're ready to keep learning, growing, and discovering the next big hidden profit model in agriculture, make sure to subscribe to the Farmer's Ally, where real farmers, real stories, and real profits come together to change the way the world thinks about farming.